Have you ever felt that your life is becoming fuller, but your heart is becoming more tired? Your closet is fuller, your phone has more photos, your to-do list is longer, your relationships are more numerous, your goals keep multiplying. But strangely, you do not feel happier. The more you buy, the more you feel lacking. The more you try to prove yourself, the more insecure you feel. The more people you know, the lonelier you become. The more you think, the more confused your heart feels. We often believe suffering comes from not having enough, but very often, suffering comes from carrying too much. Too many things, too many desires, too many unnecessary relationships, too many negative thoughts. And this is what the Little Prince reminds us of in a gentle way. To live more happily, sometimes we do not need to add more. We need to learn how to let go. The Little Prince is a very short book, but the older you grow, the more you realize it is not simple at all. It looks like a fairy tale for children, but in truth, it is a mirror held up to the adult world. In that world, adults are always busy, always calculating, always trying to own more, always seeking recognition, always chasing things that seem important, while forgetting what truly makes the heart feel alive. The Little Prince travels across different planets, meets many strange adults, then arrives on Earth and learns deep lessons about friendship, loneliness, desire, and the purity of the heart. In this video, I will not retell the whole book like a long audiobook. I will condense it into 4 main lessons. First, clear away the baobabs in your life. Second, let go of desire for power, monies, and status. Third, walk away from relationships that are not worthy of your sincerity. Fourth, keep your heart clear in a world that is too noisy. The Little Prince lives on a very small planet. Every day he cleans his volcanoes and pulls out the young baobab shoots, because if he lets them grow, their roots will destroy his tiny planet. What is interesting is that at first the baobab does not look frightening. It is only a small shoot, easy to ignore, easy to say, I will deal with it later. But if it is not handled early, one day it becomes too large to control. Our lives also contain many baobabs like this. An item we bought but never use. A piece of clothing worn once and then forgotten. A book bought in a moment of inspiration but never opened. An app that steals hours from us every day. A small habit that keeps us procrastinating. A negative thought that repeats itself again and again. At first they are small, but the longer we leave them, the more they occupy our living space, our time and our energy. Many people think owning more will make them feel more complete, but in reality, every object you own also quietly owns a part of your attention. You have to store it, clean it, maintain it, see it, feel guilty for not using it, and slowly your room becomes fuller, while your mind becomes heavier. This is not only about cleaning your house, it is about cleaning your life. If you do not regularly remove the baobabs in your life, one day you may be suffocated by the very things you have accumulated. So ask yourself, what in my life is taking energy without nourishing me anymore? What am I keeping only because I feel regret? What habit do I know is harming me, yet I still allow it to grow every day? What concern is no longer worth feeding? Sometimes happiness does not begin by buying something new. It begins with having the courage to let go of something old. Before arriving on Earth, the Little Prince visits several planets and meets some very strange adults. There is a king who lives alone but still wants to command everything. He has no real subjects, no real kingdom. But he clings tightly to the feeling of having power. Then the Little Prince meets a businessman who is always busy counting stars. He says the stars belong to him. He counts them, records them, locks the numbers away in a drawer, and believes he owns the sky. It sounds funny. But if we look closely, many adults live in the same way. Some people spend their lives trying to prove they are important. Some keep accumulating money, but no longer have time to live. Some chase fame, titles, recognition, and status, while feeling emptier inside. What do they have in common? They are not truly living with what they have. They are living with the feeling of needing more. More money, more power, more status, more admiration, more proof that they are above others. But desire has one dangerous quality. It never says, that is enough. Once you reach a goal, it immediately gives you another goal. Once you have one thing, it makes you look at something bigger. Once you are recognized, it makes you afraid of losing recognition. And so you keep running. Not because you truly know where you want to go, but because you are afraid to stop. The little prince looks at these adults and finds them strange, because in his eyes, a star is beautiful because it can be looked at. A flower is beautiful because it can be cared for. A sunset is beautiful because it can be quietly felt. But adults always want to turn everything into ownership, numbers, and achievement. And when everything becomes something to possess, people forget how to enjoy. So ask yourself, am I truly living, or am I only counting my stars? Am I earning money to serve my life, or is my life serving money? Do I want success because it is meaningful, or because I fear I have no value without it? Desire is not wrong, but when desire pulls you away from life, it is no longer motivation. It becomes a chain. When the little prince arrives on Earth, he lands in a vast desert. He is lonely. He wants to meet someone, to talk, to find someone who can understand him. That feeling is not unfamiliar to us. There are times when you really want to message someone, but after scrolling through your contacts, you quietly turn off the phone. There are times when you are surrounded by many people, but still feel you do not truly belong anywhere. There are times when you have many relationships, but when something happens, you do not know who you can call. Loneliness is not most painful when you are alone. It is most painful when many people are around you, but no one truly reaches your heart. The little prince meets different kinds of people. Some are cold, some care only about benefit, some do not truly listen. He opens his heart, but not everyone is worthy of that sincerity. Only when he meets the fox does he learn something profound. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Only the heart can see rightly. True friendship does not come from knowing many people. It comes from taming, from giving time, attention, and presence to each other. A true friend does not need to be with you every moment, but they make you feel seen, heard, and remembered. So maturity is not knowing as many people as possible. Maturity is knowing who truly deserves a place in your life. Some relationships only make your life noisier. Some people only come when they need something. Some meetings drain your energy. Some connections seem close but are only social habits. If you try to keep everyone, you will have no space left for the people who truly matter. Sometimes, letting go of a few unworthy relationships is how you make room for a real friendship to enter. In the desert, the little prince meets the pilot. The pilot is trapped, worried, afraid, and imagining every possible disaster. The water is running out. The plane is not fixed. What will happen if he cannot escape? But the little prince is different. He still looks at the stars, still talks, still walks, still carries a strange calmness in his clear heart. This does not mean he is naive and unaware of danger. It means he does not allow fear to swallow his entire inner world. In life, some difficulties are the first arrow. They are the things that happen from the outside. Losing a job, failing, being rejected, losing a relationship, not getting what you wanted. But after that, we often shoot ourselves with the second arrow. That second arrow is the repeated thought, why me? I am useless. Everything will always be terrible. I have no chance anymore. And very often, the second arrow causes the longest pain. It is not always the event itself that exhausts us completely. It is the way the mind keeps exaggerating, interpreting, and replaying it. The little prince reminds us of another kind of wisdom, the wisdom of simplicity. Not simplicity because you do not understand life, but after seeing how complex life is, still choosing not to let your heart become polluted, still being able to look at a star, care for a flower, remember a friend, feel grateful for a sip of water in the desert. That is the clarity adults lose very quickly, because the older we grow, the more we think. The more we want, the more we fear, the more we compare, the harder it becomes to feel enough. But sometimes, peace does not come from life becoming easier. Peace comes from the heart becoming less tangled. In the end, The Little Prince is not only a beautiful story for children, it is a gentle reminder for adults that if we want to suffer less, we must learn to let go. Let go of the baobabs quietly taking over our lives. Let go of the desire for possession, power, money, and recognition. Let go of relationships that are not worthy of our sincerity. And let go of the tangled thoughts that cloud the heart. We often think growing up means having more. More money, more goals, more relationships, more achievements. But perhaps a deeper form of maturity is knowing what to keep and what to release. Because a wonderful life is not measured by how much you own. It is measured by how much space remains in your heart to feel joy. If today you feel tired because you want too much, begin very small. Clean one corner of your room. Give away one item you no longer use. Turn off one app that steals your time. Walk away from one relationship that drains your energy. Write down one negative thought and stop feeding it. Clean your small planet, just as the little prince did every day. Because perhaps when a little chaos is removed, you will hear the clearest voice within yourself again. If this video was helpful, save it as a reminder to live more simply each day. And if you know someone who is exhausted from chasing too many desires, share this video with them. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we can keep becoming 1% better every day. Thank you for listening. I will see you in the next video.